welcome everyone. There is nothing like the nourishment of happiness, especially during a time period where things are uncertain to an extent of what we are accustomed to as the norm. You know, finance, money is a big issue for just about every country around the world. That there are questions: will the stock market rebound? Will banks be able to manage the loans? Will people be able to pay their rent, their mortgage? But again, everyone's just different. Everyone's in a different place. I don't know what it is. There's this consciousness of greed or lack in some of our consciousness, and we feel like we have to keep hoarding and getting more. And some of us actually don't care if somebody goes to bed starving or somebody sleeps on the street. It doesn't matter how good the person is. They're like, nope, once I'm okay and I have my comfort, it's all about that. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're in the state that we're in, that the whole world is now sort of concerned about their health, mental well being, relationships, their financial situation. So this morning, Antonia sent me a message and says, why don't you see if Ken Honda is available, who talks all about happy money. He doesn't believe in fear and anxiety when you're earning, spending, or making money, really, so to speak. And so I texted Ken, and Ken said, yay, I'd be happy to. So he's in Tokyo, and we're going to get him on. But let me give you a little bit of an idea of who Ken is, just in case you don't know. So anyway, so Ken basically says, don't worry about your money, attract abundance instead, right? But 18 years ago, Ken Honda started inviting people in Japan into deeper healing conversations around money. He asked them, what if money didn't have to be a struggle? What if we could use money as a vehicle to express more love, more life, to shift the planet? Imagine if money could be happy. What started off as a small conversation in Japan has already reached millions and millions and has spread around the world. Money and happiness expert Ken Honda is a best-selling self-development author in Japan, with book sales surpassing 7 million copies since 2001. His latest book is called Happy Money: The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money. He studied law at Waseda University in Tokyo, and his financial expertise comes from owning and managing several businesses, including an accounting company, a management consulting firm, and a venture capital corporation. So I don't need to tell you who you're about to meet, but it gives me great pleasure to invite Ken Honda, and let's take it away. Ken, are you with us?
Okay. Hey,
Hi,
hi,
so
Sister
nice to
Jenna.
meet you. Can you believe I have lost sight on all of my Japanese? Arigato is thank you.
Yes.
Okay, and hello is
こんにちは.
konnichiwa. Oh, that was so simple. How are you, my brother? So nice to see you.
Yes, I'm happy to receive a message last night. So, I feel so honored to be invited to your
One
show.
hour
Or
special, yes.
yes, thank you,
Well,
thank you.
when you came onto America Meditating Radio, it was at a time that we were going through an interesting period. And I just enjoyed so much our conversation. So, and
Mhm.
what can we do to really create happy money and to create more of abundance of money and to feel comforted that our future will be bright? So I'm going to kind of hand over to our audience, and you
Mhm.
can share what you'd like, and I'll kind of just step in when I feel like I need some clarity, or
Okay.
I just need some more like, could you give me some more of that? Okay?
Thank you, thank
You're
you,
welcome.
thank you. Okay. So I just want to say hello to everybody. I'm Ken Honda. I'm currently living in the mountains outside of Tokyo. So I just want to share some slides about myself and my mentor. Yeah, so I just want to show you, I write so many books on happiness and money, and that's a picture. So this is what I do, lecturing, not anymore, but I used to do this a lot, almost every month. And this is where I am right now. So I just want to show you and how it looks like. And this is As you can see, I'm surrounded by so many books, and this is where I write. And my life work has been on peace and money. So I want to share with you the skills and the steps to how not to worry about money. And I learned from this mentor of mine, Wahei Takeda, who's called Warren Buffett of Japan, and he became wealthy by selling cookies for babies, and uh, I really loved his smile. I miss his smile. He passed away a few years ago, and he's the one who taught me the principle of happy money. When I met him, I was so excited to ask him about the secret of money. And he said, there's only one thing, that is arigato your money. And I was really lost. Arigato, thank you, money? What does it mean? And he said, when money comes in, say arigato to the money coming in. And when you spend money, also say thank you or arigato, your money, because somebody is giving you something in return for your money. And I wanted to know more about money because he is a very well-known investor. So I just kind of wanted to know the tips of stocks or investing, or at least to make some money. And he said, he just smiled like this, and he said, just arigato your money, your life will be okay. And I was so like shocked, right?
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know, it's 10 more years ago. And since then, I learned about this philosophy, which I think it's going to help you so much uh, because we are so worried about money. I call it unhappy money. Whereas somebody like Wahe, or even though you don't have so much money, you're not wealthy, as long as you're in the cycle of appreciation, I call it happy money. So I'm going to show you some more slides. This is what Wahei made. He made cookies for babies, so they melt in your mouth. So he believed in the vibration of thank you. So he played in his factory as these cookies are made from the dough. He played a thank you song sung by Japanese kindergarten kids. So in this factory, the song of arigato, arigato, arigato keeps playing. So by the time the product is finished, the cookies, each cookie has listened to 1 million thank you. So what he believes, if the cookie melts in baby's mouth, 1 million thank yous vibration is in baby's mouth. So that's how he believed. And he also built this real castle for kids who cannot afford to Disneyland in Tokyo. And also he built this museum of gold. And he was so generous to give away gold coins. Whoever does happy and also memorable things in people's heart. So Sister Jenna, if he was alive, you'd really get a gold medal from him.
Believe that. Well, now I'll get
Yes,
it from you.
yes, I will just pass it on when time is better. And the thing I want to share with you is more of a Zen approach. There are only three relationships with money. You become the master, or you become the slave, or you become the best friend with money. Because money is a neutral energy, but we worry about it all the time. That's because you are a slave to money. And some very super wealthy people, they think they are the master, so they think they can get away with anything because they're wealthy, so they become a master, so they lose their heart too. And the best way to deal with money is you become the best friend, because money can bring you food, money can just do all kinds of great things. So if you treat money as a friend, you can do it. But unfortunately, we cannot do that, because I found out that um, money EQ is that what I teach, but people don't get it yet. I think there are two kinds of money intelligence: money IQ and money EQ. Money IQ is the one that you need to invest in stocks, save taxes, and all that kind of thing. I'm sure there are so many people teaching money IQ. So I want to share with you money EQ a little bit. And there are four types of money EQ, which I have found out from uh, wealthy and also happy people. Even among very wealthy people, there are very unhappy people because they're always upset, they're always angry, some of them are depressed. Whereas other people seem to have a very good relationship with money. And I realize that it's because their money EQ, emotional intelligence, is high. It doesn't really matter how much you make or how much you have. It's about your attitude of emotional intelligence. And there are four things. So I just want to share with you very briefly. And maybe Sister Jenna, you may have some questions. I have one more slide to share. And so money EQ
What
number
I would
one is,
love, Ken, what I would
yes.
love for you to do is, could you, when you get a chance, go more into detail about some of the emotional or personal behavior when you are a master, a slave, or a friend? Like, I get it at a generic level, but some
Mhm.
real
Oh,
detailed
okay.
pinpoints that you could help with our viewers,
Okay.
right? And then as we break
Sure,
it
sure.
down for the EQ, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah. So, master is somebody who thinks you can do with anything with money. And some people believe in money, and some people want to make money so they can feel safe, they can feel secure, and they can have control over people. So, a lot of us in the world are obsessed with money because you want to be the master. And these type of people have a very interesting ideas, concept about money and life. You are either in control or out of control. So if you're out of control, you become a slave to the situation and to life. And I'm sure a lot of people are feeling that way. If you lose your job, if you lose your money, you feel desperate. So some people go as far as commit a crime because you think you need money so badly. And I'm going to talk about how to resolve fear after one slide, but uh, probably more than 90% of us are a slave to money because we are glad to sell our soul to money. And in 1930s, where the Great Depression was, a lot of people say, "I'll do anything for money," because they want to put food on the table, and also they want to keep going with money. Otherwise, that they cannot survive, is what they think. So the people who have a friendly and also healthy relationship with money, they know that money is just energy. So they think that they can do so many things without money. And also, if you have a right mental attitude and healthy mental attitude, people can help you. So even though you don't sell your soul to money, people will help you. So in their life, there is not much negative emotions around money. So because they
An
know it's.
example, give us an example of somebody that might be very famous that you see as a friend to money. Definitely your mentor, right?
Mhm. And
Would
also
you say like
somebody.
Bill Gates is like that, or Oprah Winfrey
Yes,
is like a
yes, and
friend of money?
also yes, and also somebody the other day, a few months ago in my seminar, I always have a donation box to some kind of charity. So that month, I chose a relief for a wildfire in California. So I said, how much ever you feel, please donate and put them in the box. I'll just send the money to the people in Malibu. And we raised something like $10,000 for that. But I was kind of watching the box and from behind. And there's one girl who was standing in front of this donation box. and who's kind of checking what's inside her wallet. And she had something like $30, equivalent to US dollars, and he was kind of calculating something, and then uh, she put $20 off of her wallet, and then walked away. So I grabbed her, and I asked her, "What did you do?" She said, "I calculated how much it cost to go home, and it's less than $10. So if I have $10, I can go
Oh,
home." So she donated $20 out of $30. I was
oh,
very
wow.
moved because that's happy money, you know. So somebody like that, definitely money is her friend, and people will help her, and she's so lovable. So if you're in this position that money is just an energy to help people, so it's interesting because to every one of us, money is a different face. So if you are a fearful person, you feel so much fear on money. If you're a loving person, you feel so much love around money. So it's almost like a relationship to life. If you have a beautiful, loving relationship with life, you have the same similar relationship with money. So that's what I found out.
Beautiful. Next slides.
Okay, so money EQ. I actually teach this in 3 days. So I'm going to do it in 2 minutes. So forgive me if I'm a little vague. You can ask me.
Five.
So
Take 5 minutes.
okay. So the number one step to money EQ is receiving money. A lot of us are so good at giving, but we are so bad at receiving. We feel so funny, shame, guilt around receiving. So money EQ tells you to receive, because when we were born into life, we didn't start giving as a baby, you know. So we just were there as a beautiful being. So all we did is receive for the at least for the first 5 to 7 years. So if you're alive, that means that somebody took care of you when you were very little. So, but even though we were born that way and received so much, but something in us makes us feel that we have to give and give and give. But in a time like this, we need to receive more. We need to share more. But so this whole thing is happening because we have to change our attitude around money, and also the attitude to share our resources, our money, our food on a global level. So I'm sort of excited that every one of us is forced to be in this funny situation that we cannot even hug, we cannot connect with people. We are so separated. We cannot fly to each other easily now. There is no airplane going out and in. But so in this time, I think receiving is such a beautiful and also important first step. And the second step is appreciating money. As my mentor Wahed taught me, appreciating money is very important. Appreciating meaning uh, thanking the money, and also really enjoying the money. Money is a beautiful thing. I'm enjoying money more because I have so much to share. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a interesting um, campaign of I'm donating my money, and also I'm asking all the wealthy people or financially comfortable people to share what's left of their money. If they have if they calculate how much money they need for his or her family, they can share the else what they have in their wallet. So if we can do that, we can really enjoy money, because you cannot buy the whole thing, whole world. We can eat a certain amount, and we can spend certain amount, and wealthy people have too much. That is a problem that we are facing. So appreciating money is the second key. And the third key is trusting in the flow of money. This is the hardest, I guess, for a lot of people, especially if you just lost a job, if you find out that you cannot pay the rent in April. It's going to give you this very scary feeling. But this is the almost like a practice of trusting. If you can trust, you realize that what you see is not a wall. It's just a door. It looks like a wall, but you can push it and then it's going to open. But this trust issue really gives you the test because almost all of us have to go through this test. Can you trust the money flow? Even though it's been okay for the past 20 years, you're not sure about next month or next year. So trusting, I think probably with Sister Jenna, we're going to talk more about this. But so trusting is the number 3 one. And also sharing money is also very important because if you're afraid of money, I just give you advice. Just donate or give $1 or $2 to somebody, or put it in a box at the supermarket. If you just give money or if you share money, you realize you have more than enough. If you share love, you feel loved. So by sharing what you have, you realize that you have it. So if you're afraid of money, or if you're afraid of your future, the best thing you can do is share what you want. If you want love, you share it. If you want money, you share it. And that way, the whole world will be in a different place. But so this is the last slide. So, but it's so difficult. I'm hearing a lot of people say, like, I'm so afraid, I'm so scared. So I want to share these 5 steps with you. But before going to these 5 steps, is there anything to add or ask me, Sister Jenna?
Well, I believe definitely in the law that what goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the law that you have to give what you might feel you're lacking. I
Mm-hmm.
have a story that I generally always donate and give what I'm attached to
Mm.
or what I like. And everybody who knows me can, they know I love mangoes. And when I start to give away my mangoes, it's really a very big sign of how much love I believe in. And I say, well, if I give away something that I love so much, I have to get back the abundance of it, isn't it? Because I'm
Yes.
giving it with love and I'm not giving it with the attachment. I only get the satisfaction of it just for me. If I'm the only
Mm-hmm.
one eating the mango and it's only feeding the I, me, and mine, I don't see how that makes the world a better place. But
Mm.
if I can actually share my mango with you or give you the mango, I see how much joy it gives you. So both of us had joy. So I believe in that wholeheartedly. How does one shift their mindset around money when education teaches you a particular way in how to handle money? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to school, you get an education, you're supposed to get this amount of money and you're safe. But everything in your spirit feels that there's more of an abundance waiting for you. But education has kind of put you in a box. Well, this is as much as you should earn. You get a pension, you get this, you get that. So, how do you shift your mindset around money when education tells you, well, this is how the rest of the world, moves with money?
So I think it's almost like a religion. Which religion do you want to believe in? Scarcity or abundance? It's
Mm.
a choice. So you can make excuses that my parents were that way, or I went to school and nobody taught me about money. I was in the same situation. But if you want to really choose abundance, you have to start living in abundance. But if you want
Okay.
to keep living in scarcity, I think there's a city called scarcity. I think you want to everything follows you is scarcity mentality. So if you try to take advantage of people because you think that's the way you have to, people will react that way. And if you want to share
But
what you have, and if you just believe in sharing, people will do the same for you. So I think it's a very interesting time because what you choose will manifest. So either you believe in abundance, which means sharing what you have, sharing what you know, sharing what you teach. It's going to grow. For example, I started sharing what I know more in depth. So that's why 5 million people show up in the middle of nowhere, and I did a free class and also a paid class. I'm my audience was about 500 to 1,000, and now my audience is. Last week I did 8,000 people on Zoom call, Zoom seminar, and it's
wow,
more than 10 times. And people pay so much money to be on the show. So actually, I'm going to donate everything I make right now. But so
wow.
what I share more wealth, and more money will come into my life. So this
I
is
believe
such
in
a
that.
fun game.
So, could you help those who might be struggling with um, being very clear about what are the patterns of thoughts, Ken, that people are having where there's lack or scarcity? So, what does that person think about on a regular basis when they think about money? Highlight some of those thought patterns.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. That's a good question. It's almost like I don't have enough. What I have is not enough. Well, I don't know what to do. So those are the feeling which I was going to share with you. But like, "Ooh, I have enough. I've not enough. The money I have is not enough." So this tight feeling and tight feeling in your chest is also a sign that you believe in scarcity. And so if you are willing to share what you have, you don't have that. Like look at the 3 or 4 year old child. They are so generous. Even though they have 1 or 2 candies, they give it all to you. But the funny thing is, if you become 6 or 7, they're not easy to give away. They
That's
may
so
give you
true.
one candy, and he or she would say, what do you have? What do you got for me?" so so this
That's so true.
mentality of a give and take is such a sad start, and no kids have that if they're like 3 or 4. So I
Okay.
think we are all invited. We're not forced. We are invited to this abundance city.
So
But
I'm going to ask you one other question to kind of add on that one.
yes.
There are some folks that have this scarcity about money. They don't have enough, but inside of, I've met so many people like this, but inside of them, they're bubbling to want to have more money, right?
Hmm.
So they go, like they won't give you the money, but inside they want more money, and there's like a resistance between what they think they need to do because they need to hoard their money, hold their money, be conniving with how they make their money, be, untruthful with their money. But inside of their energy is that they want a lot of it. Similarly, there are those people who I've met, the nicest, humblest of people, who will just give you the last dollar that they have, or they'll give you the last shirt on their back with the most ultimate of generosity. But inside, they also know, I don't know what's going to happen. But because they have so much love, have you met people like that? So
Hmm.
they'll just give it, and they're not thinking about, well, how am I going to pay the car note now?
Hmm.
I gave my son the last amount of money because he asked for it, and I want to give him, and they give it maybe out of love or dependency or wanting to be liked. So how do you speak to that?
So I think it's there are the most beautiful people on this planet, but not many of us can become Mother Teresa. So I I would say that feel yourself first. Unless you're full, or unless you're full of love, full of money or whatever that is, what you need, you feel deprived unless you have unless that's your spiritual practice. So I'd say feel yourself first, and then if you feel full, you can give. Otherwise, giving
Nice.
can be in sacrifice. Unless you're
Yes.
super spiritual, I think my advice is to give yourself first. And if you have enough, you can do that. So
Great advice.
a lot of people give because out of unworthiness or out of sacrifice or out of spiritual practice, whatever that is, it's okay. But if you feel deprived by doing that, I think you should give yourself first, and then you can be super generous in sharing the rest, and that way you feel you don't feel any sacrifice on your part, and just
Great,
you can enjoy
great
giving more.
answer. Great response. Great response. Some questions. Can hold on one second. One question on Facebook here is there a spiritual element to money? What is it? And how can we invite it in our lives? I think you've covered it, but could you answer their question?
Yes, what's interesting is that I've been after the publishing of Happy Money. Oh, by the way, thank you, Sister Jenna. We sold about 200,000 copies more in uh, 10 or 15 countries by now. So
Congrats.
when I think about that, people either in sacrifice or people are doing what they people enjoy what they give. I've been interviewed by so many media, and all the questions I got asked in North America is how can I have more or how can I get more? But in Japan, uh, often I'm asked by how can I satisfy more with what I have? So the approach is very different. In North America, I think having more, doing more is better. But instead, in a time like this, in a depression, I think enjoying or appreciating or feeling enough with what we have, is more important than having more. So if you can just change your paradigm or concept that having more is better, you can see a totally different world. So the spiritual practice side of money is asking us, can you how much is enough, and can you satisfy with what you have? And if you
Beautiful.
can satisfy with $5, you're in heaven. But if you cannot be satisfied with $5 million, you're in hell, because you're in a constant mode of wanting more. So
Can you tell
feeling
me the
enough is
story?
important.
Can you tell us the story about one of your clients who had gotten a very large, significant inheritance, and he had lost a few millions and ended up with maybe. Remember that story? Could you share that story again?
Yes.
Because I think it's so profound.
He inherited something like $30 million,
Mhm.
and because of bad investment, he lost 20. So, but as a result, he still had $10 million. So if I say somebody is going to give you $10 million, I think everybody will be very happy. But
Very.
he got so depressed with the leftover $10 million, so he committed suicide. So if you cannot satisfy with what you have, um, you cannot be happy with $10 million. So um, my question to you is, how much is enough? And
Hmm.
can you free yourself from money? Is the question I want to ask you. Because if you cannot feel you have enough, you're well taken care of, you will be in constant worry. And it's not a
Hmm.
healthy way to do.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I think it's important that we begin to check the small things that we do that will stimulate more genuine interest, more sincerity, more purity of really simple actions that I know it gives me a sense of confidence and conviction when I pay attention, Ken, to the small acts that I do. but also the small acts of kindness. Today, when I went out for a walk, I could hear the birds, I could hear the nature, and I gave thanks for this scene and this moment. And I did that very genuinely, but knowing that that was an attraction too of bringing a lot of good towards my life, good health, good relationships, good money. But I didn't say it because I wanted it. I just said it because that was who I am, especially at that moment. There's a really good question that has come in here for you, and I would love for you to address this one. It's really a very stressful time. Oh, and let me go back. I thought your cultural difference of how Japanese look at money versus the West looks at money is spot on. In India, it's the same too. Like in India, we're very generous with taking care of spiritual people or the family, or environment. And it's not necessarily about always just hoarding. It's about, donating. So I was very touched by the cultural difference in how they interpret money in their lives. The question is, it's really a very stressful time, Ken, for many people right
Yes.
now.
Hmm.
Many people have lost their jobs. How can we see this in a different light so that we're not stressed and so that we can solve our money problems?
Yes. Whenever somebody loses his or her job, I always say congratulations, because this is a fresh new start, and which is always scary, but at the same time, it's fun and exciting, because unless the job you had is the incredible job, for most people, not it's not, you know, they can finally start doing what they love, and they can finally uh, find truth in their life. So I think what we're having globally is a reset button. So I think it's so beautiful. We have been reset, all of us, and then we have to really figure out what to do with money, what to do with work, what to do with our family. So definitely globally, we spend more time with our family, like it or not, because the domestic violence is happening too. But it's because we are um, just sort of like going back to where it's supposed to, and then we're just forced to choose what's most important in our lives. So I understand it's scary. It's because you're worried. Your worst case scenario is you have nothing, and then you get kicked out and you die on the street. That's what you probably imagine. But if you just have trust in your future, or in life, you have no stress. I think you can be more excited about what's going to happen to you. Uh, the reason why you're stressed out and the reason why you're afraid is that you're imagining a negative future, and you think something bad is going to happen to you. But if you use the imagination, you can use the same imagination and imagine something wonderful is going to happen to you. So
Mm,
if you can do that, yeah, it's once again, it's a choice of choosing bright future or pessimistic future. It's your choice. So if you can
mhm.
see, wow, I lost everything, what's going to happen next, I can't wait. If your mentality is that way, you can be happy and you can be very excited. So it's your choice. It's not
Love
just a
it.
super positive idea, but it's more of a choosing which future you choose to look at.
I think what happens when the fear kicks in, I think when we were on our call, I was sharing with you for the first time, I found myself in a position I'd never found myself in. And I remembered how I felt, and I could feel this wasn't me. I had never addressed the issue that I was in with that sort of a tightness of my chest.
Hmm.
But I knew mentally I had to turn it around and I had to be the one that says, I trust my destiny. I have done so much good karma. I believe in mankind. I love mankind. And, I think that mentality can help also that individual that's struggling with the fear of the uncertainty to turn it around. And the second thing is exactly what Ken said. That might not have even been the job that you like, and that maybe God actually has something so much better for you. But if you listen, and you listen with love, He will guide you, especially when you make Him such a big part of your life. I trust that 100%. As we get to the end of our wonderful conversation, I think everybody's loving our chit chat together, Ken.
Yes, I
Please,
do too.
please, yeah, me too. Please share with us your 5 steps that you've put together so we can
Okay.
get a wrap up.
Yes. Okay. So I share with you these 5 steps. Number one is identify what you're feeling. I'm sure many of you are feeling anxiety or fear, and identify that. Or you may be angry at your president, at the government, or your governor, or your husband and wife, whoever that is. So just identify what you're feeling is the first step. And the second step is look inside a feeling. What's in there? If it's fear, what are you afraid? And if you're angry, what is underneath the anger? Usually, some sense of loss. What do you feel you lost? That's why you're angry. You lost your income. What is it? It's not your income. So you felt is security. So you feel like your security was lost. Why? And so if you go deeper, um, you can really feel what's inside. And then step number three is imagine the worst. What does that look like? If I just have 5 minutes with somebody, a client, I can usually pinpoint his or her worst picture. Like you don't have a place to live, or you cannot pay for your kids, or no food on the table. So just imagine that. And then number four is feel it. Feel the shame of going bankrupt. Feel the embarrassment that when you have to tell your kids, sorry, your dad has no money, or your mom, I can't afford it. So just feel the embarrassment, feel the joy, and just feel everything. And the step number five is surrender. I think this whole thing is happening because all of us are asked to surrender. We have to surrender and ask for help, help from one another. If you have wisdom, you share it. If you have money, you share it. If you have lots of energy, you share it. So this time we surrender and just ask for help. And if we can just call on to one another, I think we can all go through this. But if you're just feeling stuck in this fear or anxiety, we're just in this fearful situation forever. So we have to go through this by feeling what's inside and surrender. I think surrender is the most important and also beautiful place to be, because if you surrender, miracles happen. I've heard so many wonderful stories. If you surrender, your friends come in and help. Your father, whom you lost contact for 5 years, I have a client of mine, and he said he didn't have a contact with his father for 5 years. And after 5 years, he called in and say hello. And the beginning was awkward, but he sincerely asked for help. And his father, whom he thought he's hated by his father, he wired $10,000 for him. And it happens between the strangers if you think you don't have a wealthy father. You know, a lot of goodwill, a lot of sharing is going to happen in this time. So just be open to miracles. To do that, you have to surrender. So I'm surrendering myself. So I'm just giving away what I have, and I've decided to share. And I'm so excited because all the wealthy people in Japan have a tradition. Once there is a famine in the village, wealthy people open the doors of their safe and let all the villagers eat, so the whole village survive. And
Yeah.
so I think that this is a time that we have to start sharing. If you have more than enough, you can share. I'm not asking you to share. Just try to share something. People will love it. People will love it. People will respect you. People will love you, and people will appreciate you forever. So I
Mm.
strongly encourage, feel that you have more than enough. And for those of you who have more than enough, let's share with people who don't have enough.
You
Okay.
know, I was very touched by your comment on you feel that after the COVID situation is over, there will be an atmosphere of individuals that want to share because
Hmm.
maybe they've been so isolated and didn't have a chance to share, you know? And I think that's a really profound, profound vision to have.
Okay.
Ken Honda, you were such a delight. I enjoyed every minute of our time together. This
Thank you so much.
conversation was so needed for folks, definitely in this country, in the United States of America, but also around the world. And I'm really taking away, it's really a meditative process that you really need to bring this gratitude and this appreciation and this arigato, not only
Hmm.
in your earning, but in your sharing, in your giving. And we need to trust, though, Ken, because there's something in our personality that we don't trust it will come back to us. Is that something karmic of previous lifetimes or of this lifetime? Or is there something in the universe that says if you're not a trusting person, the money quotient will block itself towards you? Could you answer that as we come to a close?
I think of it as a choice. I don't know about the past lives, but you can choose to live in love or live in fear. So I always ask myself a few times a day, do I want to choose fear or do I want to choose love? So
Mm,
it's our choice to do it. And I think if we choose to love, all the past life issues melt away and then we can manifest love in our lives. So I think when it comes to a simple choice, do you want to choose love or fear?
mm. In very few words, define what love is to you.
For me, love is share what I have, what I know, and what I do. So in that total surrender of surrendering myself to people, to the person in front of me, or to the society, I I enjoy most, and I feel the bliss that I can get to do that. And somebody will take good care of me. I have so many friends, so I'm not worried about money or future because even if I lose everything, at least I have 100 people helping me. So I'm
Mm,
not worried about it. So that's why I can share more. And the more I
beautiful,
share, the more I receive. So I'm
beautiful,
also fighting a battle of giving away more, and then I get more. So I'm so happy in doing that. So I want
beautiful.
you to start just a little bit, and then let's see how it happened. What's going to happen to you?
What's your vision for the future of the world?
I'm actually writing about a book. It's a new system. It's a new world that every one of us appreciates one another, and everybody is treating each other fairly globally. And I think we can choose to do that in 5 years. And before that, I think we have to deal with scarcity mentality in all of us. So we have to go through the scary time. It's a test if we can go and create a new world based on fairness and appreciation. And I think it's going to happen. At least I can start doing it in Japan. And hopefully, I'll just come up with a system so people can live happily and also openly and fairly. And I think those are the things that we need to create out of this. The last time, 100 years ago, when Spanish flu happened, and after that, the crash and the war. So this time we can choose a different path. I believe in humanity. I know we are stupid, but I think we are smart enough at least to do a better job this time.
Thank you, Ken Honda. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Hopefully,
you.
you won't hang up. I'll play a meditation for all of us to seep into.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
give a big, big thumbs up and big
Thank
hug
you. Thank you,
to
everybody.
Ken for
Stay
joining
safe.
us. Yes,
Stay
for
safe and be
sure.
happy. Thank you, Sister Sienna. I'll just
Oh,
close my
it,
video and mute, but I'll just be with you for your meditation.
oh, I
Thank
would
you.
love that. Thank you, Ken. We'll do it again.
Yes, I'll always send you love and and pray for you.
Thank you. Same
Bye bye,
here.
everybody.
This next exercise is an experiment to be able to discover how to direct my own thoughts. I sit quietly. My thoughts focus in the center of my forehead. I journey into my own inner world. I discover a whole world within my own being. I am the eternal being of light. And within myself, I have the capacity to choose whichever type of thought I want to create. For a few moments, I want to direct my thoughts into the consciousness of eternity, the awareness of truth. Who am I? I know that this body was created at a specific time. It has a beginning. It has a fixed lifespan. And so, at some point of time, later or sooner, the time span will run out and this body will finish. But I, the being of light, am eternal. I existed before this body was shaped, and I will continue to exist after this body finishes. I exist beyond the limits of time and space. I, the being of light, have a form that is infinitesimal, just a point. Everything contained within a point. I, the point of light, am immortal. In this awareness of eternity, of going beyond the limits of time and distance, I'm able to have a glimpse of truth, that which is reality, that which is unchangeable, that which is the constant anchor of the universe. I stay in this awareness of I, the being of light, and touch truth itself.